Somehow or another, I lost myself here. Oh, hey, hold a
We
minute
are
there, guys. I am somehow or another I lost something. Give me just a second. Just a second. I lost something here.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. A little technical difficulties, and that shouldn't be that way. Everybody should see my pretty face.
The gremlins are loose in the system.
Ta-da!
Hey, guys, don't adjust your set. Don't adjust your screen. It is Friday night. And yes, this is the Roundtable 2.0. Guys, it has been a crazy week. Hope y'all have been having a good week, at least. It is Friday. We have a special co host with me tonight, my beautiful, loving wife, Miss Vanessa Townsend. There she is. So, we are talking about our series at the movies. And basically, what it is a breakdown on how we go see the movies, who we go to see, the different genres, that sort of thing. And we're actually talking about a pretty much an icon of a artist, producer, and writer, and he is John Hughes. But before we get started, I kind of wanted to ask the roundtable. Number one, what is your thing when you go to the movies? What is the snack of choice? Miss Liz, what you got for us? What do you buy when you go to the movies?
Generally, I just get a soda because they charge too much for popcorn.
Okay.
I
Okay.
usually sneak in my own little snack, and then I buy soda, and that's pretty much it. When I found out how much popcorn was being charged and how much they were paying, I said,
Mr. Robert, how about you, sir?
Well, since it's the family that goes, we get the giant. We get the giant thing of popcorn, and just everybody is a grab for all. A couple drinks.
Okay. Okay. Brad, how about you, sir?
Popcorn and a large Coke.
Okay. Okay. My dearest co-host, what do you like, dear?
Popcorn. Lots of butter.
Favorite drink?
Cherry Coke.
Okay. Okay. Mine is actually pretty much sharing what she's got and M&M peanuts. Last but not least, Mr. Calibus Rand, owner and operator of the Cosmic Portal, and also our major producer of all of the 757 Geek Fandom's roundtable, whatever we put online. He is the man. Sir, what is your snack of choice at the movie theater?
Well, I hate to say it, but it's a large popcorn, Raisinets, Dr. Pepper, or one of those Coke Ices.
Okay, Coke Ices.
And, if I can't have that, I don't go.
So, and everybody can sort of kind of just join in on this one. Where do you sit, Calibus?
I like to sit in the middle of the. If it's an IMAX screen, I really want to sit in that kind of upper row middle where I can see the whole screen. If not, I'll sit way in the back so I can see the whole screen. Being a tall, husky guy, it's really about trying to get that angle so I can see most of the screen and not being anybody's way.
Okay. Liz, how about you, darling? Where do you sit in the movie theater?
I like the middle.
Okay.
Usually the first, they always have that first row down, and I like to usually do the first row of the second, the middle. I like the middle, like
Okay.
he does. I like to see the whole screen.
Mr. Robert, how about you, sir?
Middle's good. Right hand side usually toward the aisle, with as close to the aisle as we can get. Those where my wife chooses.
Mr. Brad, how about you, sir?
Yeah, I'm usually on the right aisle, right on the end.
Okay. Okay. Well, I've actually been introduced to when I was with the Garretts, our vice president, executive vice president. We actually did sort of the top and then the middle, and like y'all said, you were able to see the whole entire screen and everything. But I myself is kind of like the right side, fourth or fifth row. And I like to be right there on the end because I like to get quickly in and out. And I don't want people walking all over me. Honey, do you like where we sit, or was there a place that you prefer to sit?
Actually, I like sitting like in between the bars, where the bars are. We sit right in the middle, not way down low, not way up high, just right in the middle so I can see the whole screen.
Okay. Okay. So, guys, I'm gonna kind of introduce y'all to our person that we are talking about. Then I'm gonna actually switch over to my co-host, Miss Harley V, my beautiful wife. She has some insight, and then we're gonna kind of dissect some of his movies and kind of reminisce about some of these older movies that we might have grew up with, or we just kind of fell in love with. So, John Hughes was a writer, producer, artist, that sort of thing. I think he wrote Home Alone in a matter of 36 hours from a documentary I thought I read, and he was just phenomenal. He liked working with kids. He liked working with young teenagers, kind of a more comedy films. And as Calibus is scrolling, there's some here that are popping up. You have Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton. You have all the National Lampoon's Vacation with Chevy Chase and all them. You have 16 Candles.
Wow.
The Breakfast Club. One of my favorites, Weird Science. And then also when Vanessa was pregnant, we also watched She's Having a Baby. And it was kind of Kevin Bacon, and he was just kind of scared about having a child. So it was pretty cool. But me and my wife's famous one that we watch all the time, I see it right there on the screen. It's none other than Ferris Bueller's Day Off. My wife took a quote from that movie, and unfortunately, and at the end of that movie, you'll see Vanessa in her very debut in the movie. And later on, we'll get Mr. Calibus. I think he's got that queued up later on. Is that true, Calibus, or am I wrong? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I've got a screenshot of it.
Okay. If you can pull that screenshot up, you'll definitely see Miss Harley V at her best.
I like Ferris Bueller. That's one of my favorite movies.
So, again, John Hughes was he did a lot of great movies and everything. Unfortunately, he died at 59. He had a massive heart attack, and a lot of his films and everything were kind of filmed right there in Chicago. And like I said, he was big into comedy and that sort of thing. And like I said, when I heard the story about Home Alone, they said that he locked himself up in his bedroom or in his room writing area for nearly 36 hours and typed that out real quick. And then next thing you know, here we got Home Alone 1, 2, 3, and phenomenal writer. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch gears and let Miss Harley V tell you a little bit about what she found. Okay. Here you go, dog.
Alrighty. How you guys doing tonight? Okay, so I was able to pull up 24 fun facts about John Hughes films. One, I want to know what y'all's favorites are. Calibus, what's yours?
Definitely Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But this I didn't expect him. I mean, I didn't expect him to have so many films that I didn't even know he did. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off is still my favorite to this day.
Yeah, you and me both. I love all of his films, I'll be honest. And when I was dating my husband, my father decided to embarrass me and told my husband, "Son, you need to come and see your future wife in the end of this movie." Oh, sheer embarrassment, sheer embarrassment. And the funny thing is that the little girl in the back of that bus, I looked exactly like her in my 4th and 5th grade years of school. Exactly to a T. So that I guess is my movie story, honestly. All right, Miss Liz, what is your favorite John Hughes movie?
Well, I know the one I watch every year, and that's Home Alone. I watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2 every year. It's like tradition. I love those two movies. And yes, I am very fond of Ferris Bueller.
Okay,
But
let
there's
me tell
quite
you
a
a little.
few of his movies I like, but those are the Home Alone ones are the ones I watch every year. Every year.
A little known fact about Ferris Bueller. It said to produce the desired drugged out effect for his role as the drug addict in the police station, Charlie Sheen stayed awake for more than 48 hours before that scene was shot.
Whoa.
Now, Home Alone, hold on, let me pull this one up. Because these are absolutely hilarious. Let's see. Do. There's like, wait a minute. Where's it at? Okay, for Home Alone, writer John Hughes was worried that mothers would never believe a family could forget one of their kids. Director Chris Columbus, yeah, that's kind of funny, recalled John really filled in every possible logo hole, and the audience always bought it. They got one down here for Home Alone too, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to Mr. Brad. Mr. Brad, what's your favorite?
16 Candles.
Wow. Did you know a little thing about 16 Candles? Let me see. I believe that was done. Okay. He casted Molly Ringwald after seeing her headshot inspired by Ringwald's appearance. He put it over his desk and wrote the film just over a weekend with her specifically in mind for the lead role. And honestly, if you think about it, you put blonde, you really look at her, Brad. That looked like Angie when she was in high school. The full lips and the freaking hair. So that we're talking about my sister, guys. We used to call her Molly Ringwald growing up. So, all right, Mr. Robert, what's your favorite John Hughes movie?
I think I like The Breakfast Club.
Did you know that The Breakfast Club was actually the first movie that, let's see, that John Hughes actually directed, and it was the most sold out movie of all of his that he ever did.
And it was a good flick.
Yes, it is. And literally to this day, it's my daughter's favorite. The kids, the teenagers nowadays, they really get a kick out of the what we called the Brat Pack movies.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, did y'all know that he directed 8 movies, but he wrote 43 movies? This man spent no time playing around in his room. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a pass this back over to my husband.
All right, guys. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody's still having a good time. Chris, thanks for joining us there, bud. You're kind of jumping in late, so you're going to pick up where we left off, okay? So,
Okay.
where we're at, guys, is everybody likes a good vacation, right? So the Griswolds and their vacations was always pretty funny, kind of mysterious in some way, kind of lot of crazy on another. So let's talk about your vacation, shall we? Were you say you were a Griswold type of vacation, or were you just kind of the opposite? I mean, the man got the family truckster, went across the whole world to see Wally World, and turned out to be closed for the heck of it. So, Mr. Robert, are you a Griswold or not?
Oh, yes. Yeah, if I show up there and they're closed, they're opening up.
Miss Liz, how about you? Are you a Griswold?
No, I am not. Definitely not.
Brad, Griswold?
No, I'm not a Griswold. I doubt I would even punch the moose if they were closed.
Mr. Kit, how about you, sir?
Well, I actually, growing up, I was not a Griswold, but as an adult, I've had so much go wrong on just about every vacation that I can identify with the Griswold.
Right? And Calibus Rand, how about you, sir?
Oh yeah, I'm a Griswold. That would be me taking my kids and my wife all the way down there. And you damn right, it's going to be open when I get there.
So it's kind of funny. So I like to bring you guys into this little bit of a reminiscence that I have going on here. So my mom would literally plan our vacation out to almost to the T, have an itinerary and everything. I mean, pack the car up like it was Tetris. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, she was Mr. Griswold. If she wasn't him, I was surprised. Christmas vacation, the same exact way, doing it all, everything. Now, to another John Hughes movies that I think all of us can relate to is one of my favorites. Miss Liz, you're going to give us a woman's point of view, but yet I'm going to go with what the movie was more or less about. So in Weird Science, we had a bunch of nerds that couldn't really, meet the girls that they wanted to have. So instead, hey, they went online, they hacked the government, created their own woman, which was, oh my God, the beautiful Miss Kelly LeBrock, and she was the hottest thing in the 80s. My question to you is, and I'm going to start with Miss Liz. Miss Liz, if you were one of those guys, but yet kind of switching around, say 2 or 3 girls or whatever, would you have done the same thing? Would you have created that perfect man from?
Oh, you know it. We would have picked out. We would have. Oh yeah, we would have had an Adonis, a Greek god, very good looking, blue eyes, blonde hair, the body and a half.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. We would have he would have melted the sheets.
for our viewers, this is a PG-13 type of show. Hopefully, it doesn't turn rated R, but
Not anymore.
not anymore. Mr. Robert, tell me what you would do, sir. Would be the same one? Who would it be for you?
Oh, just see that movie would be what would happen if Carl and I lived next door to each other.
Okay. I was kind of thinking you were going to point something out, like maybe a hot Klingon warrior or something like that. You know, I could see that coming out of you, one of y'all two at least. Am I wrong?
Amen.
And how about you, Brad? Who would it be? Who would it be for you?
Oh, it would have been Catherine Bach for me. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I would have created.
Nice. Mr. Kit, what you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, I probably would have made the woman that was in Splash. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
But I would have made that for myself, and if there's two of us, he would have his own woman made. Sharon.
Hey, if you're probably anything like me, you probably would have had a big old rocket be punched that got made instead of the doll. I would forget to put the doll in there. And...
No, I would not forget. Now my friend might forget, but no, I wouldn't have forgotten the doll.
Did you forget to hook up the doll? Yeah. Last but not least, right? Last but not least, Calibus Rant.
Well, you guys would never see me anymore if I did. And that's if I could get away with it, you know, beyond passing away from my wife, because once she saw that I created that woman, I would be buried in the backyard.
I got you. All right, my dear.
I thought we were talking about when we weren't married and young and what that kind of thing. That's what I thought we were talking about. Because
now if I'm young and single,
we could have done that when we got married.
I would have took her straight out as she was. I believe at the time she was like one of the hottest women out in the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. All right, my dear.
There were a few bodies out there in the movie world. Believe me.
Well, I do believe Miss Liz took the Weird Science title on that one.
So, I got a little snippet about Weird Science.
All right. Well, hold on just a moment. My co-host got you some information. Hold tight.
Okay, so we're talking about Weird Science. Oh, love the movie. Miss Bill Paxton. Okay, so in an interview at Comic-Con, Kelly LeBrock said when she did the kissing scene with the 14-year-old Ian Mitchell Smith in Weird Science, he got carried away and stuck his tongue down her throat. She told him if she ever did it again, she would kick his butt. So I thought that was rather hilarious. Okay, let's see. Let me see. What else have we got here? How many of the teenagers, let's see who could get this first, are in the Brat Pack? Who knows this number?
They may not know who the Brat Pack is.
The Brat Pack consists of like Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, Anthony Michael Hall, and a couple of others. There is a total of who knows this number? Let's see.
I mean, they're all in there at some point. But the number of films he did, they're all in there. I mean, even people like Robert Downey Jr. is in Weird Science. Come on.
Yep. Let's put it this way.
Even the ones in St. Elmo's Fire.
There's 8 of them. And they were
That's
in
what I would have guessed.
almost every single movie. The same teenagers were in almost every single movie. Now, what's cool about Anthony Michael Hall is that he was in the Vacation movies, of course. He was in the Breakfast Club. Did y'all know though that he played a gentleman by the name of Mutt Lang, who was literally the basically like the coach for Def Leppard in real life. Mutt Lang was married to Shania Twain. Anthony Michael Hall portrayed him in Hysteria, the Def Leppard story, and I got to post a question to him. Nobody thought about that question about about the group. I was the only one, so I kind of thought that was fun for me. That was real fun. So, all right. So, anybody else? Let's see. I love these little known facts that all the movies were real fun for us growing up. Because this was what they called like cult cinema. And it brought a lot of the teenage stuff that we were all dealing with to the forefront. And John Hughes didn't hide it. And it's everything that teenagers go through and stuff. So, what about anybody else? Calibus?
Come back to me. Let me think about that for a minute.
All right, Miss Liz.
I'm sorry, I haven't got a clue.
All right, Brad.
I haven't really paid that much attention to that.
What's the question?
About a lot of the teenage movies. What can you tell me that kind of inspired you to really kind of get into them?
I just had fun watching them.
Most of them were funny.
Yeah. They were entertaining.
It was fun watching.
They had sex in them, and we were teenagers. So, yeah.
Sometimes you could identify with them.
Oh, yeah.
I know. That's what I thought was. Now, in Christmas Vacation, I found out in one of the scenes that Chevy Chase had filmed, where he basically punched the Santa Claus in the front yard. He basically broke his pinky. So he had to kick the Santa and everything else instead of using his hands any further. So but a lot of these movies were filmed. I mean, he did like 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, and all them within like a week, a couple of days. And I'm like, how do you do that? It fascinated me. It really, really did. But all right. So other than movies, who was y'all's favorite character? Can y'all identify with? Calibus?
If I was anybody, I was Ferris Bueller's friend. I had the guy that's always getting out of trouble, and I didn't want to go with him, but I went with him anyway. And stuff always happened badly.
Oh, Cameron.
That's it, Cameron, yeah.
When Cameron was in Egypt's land, let my Cameron go. He was a pathetic soul. He was a hypochondriac and everything. Miss Liz, what character do you identify with most?
Molly Ringwald, especially in the Breakfast Club.
Okay. And how so?
Well, I knew an awful lot of girls who were just like her. And I had a little bit of Molly in there myself, because I wasn't in the social crowd. I wasn't one of the hipsters. I was more of the, you know, until I joined the drama group, I was pretty much, tomboyish.
I know that all too well.
I was more into sports than I was into anything else. So I was always trying to fit in with the guys. Always. And then I joined the drama group and then I learned things.
I was in drama. I was also the nerdy cheerleader. And I didn't fit in with the A group at all. So I got along better with the guys than I did with the girls. So
100%. Got along
Mr. Chris, who do you?
not too many girls.
Okay, moving on to Mr. Chris. Who did you identify with the most?
Well, I looked more like Jake. I got treated more like Farmer Ted, but identify more with like Gary and Wyatt.
Okay, and how so?
Mm-hmm.
How did you figure that you identified with them?
Basically, they were really smart and they tried to do stuff that was completely ridiculous and didn't always fit in with the crowd because you were always trying to understand things that other people thought was kind of a little odd.
Did you see in 16 Candles that John Cusack was one of Farmer Ted's friends?
Yep. He's the one when they take the picture. He's the one that takes the picture.
Yeah, and wasn't he not in the sequel to the National Lampoon because he was in the Breakfast Club?
No, John Cusack was not in any sequel.
No, not him. The one who was in 16 Candles.
Oh,
and
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yes,
Anthony Michael Hall.
That's what I said. Because he was the son, but I think he wasn't in the sequel because of being in the Breakfast Club.
He was in European Vacation. He was, but he had kind of he had really thinned out by that movie. And
that was different. That was a different guy to play every time, every vacation movie. The kids are different.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was in the original Vacation.
Right.
That's when Clark goes. Y'all seem to be looking. Y'all seem to change all the time. I just can't keep up. In one of the movies, I was like, yeah, because there's a different kid every single time. All right, Brad.
Christmas Vacation. It was Johnny Galecki playing Rusty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the age of the kids actually switched in Christmas Vacation too, because Rusty was the older son, and then Audrey became older than Rusty all of a sudden.
But, all right, Brad, who did you identify with the most? Which character of all the movies?
Uncle Buck.
Yes, I could honestly agree with this one.
Yep.
John Candy was your Uncle Wade's most favorite actor. He had all of John Candy's movies, and when he died, I think a piece of my dad went with him.
Hey, Brad, do you keep a snow shovel in your kitchen?
Yep, got to turn the pancake with something.
But my dad's two favorites out of them was The Great Outdoors and Summer Rental. Okay, Mr. Robert, who did you identify with the most?
I particularly like Home Alone. And I tell you, there's a funny story with it. Way back in the day, I was working as a stock guy in Wawa. and they had me filling the refrigerator area, the walk-in, and we had a sadistic assistant manager who would like to sneak up on you and try to scare the crap out of you. Suddenly you'd be like into your work, and all of a sudden, he's up behind you. So about after 1 or 2 times of experiencing this, I pulled a Home Alone on him. When I told everybody to stay out of the walk-in area, I booby trapped the hell out of the back. And I'm talking, I had a swinging milk gallon on a string by the door, a trip bar on the floor, some deli paper down that if he stepped, he would slide. And he walked back and stopped, just looked around and he lost it completely and didn't bother me after that.
For some reason, you look like Joe Pesci, though. I would always take you for Joe Pesci. So I'm gonna hand this back over to my lovely husband.
All right. So before my battery goes dead, I have to get my co-host to get me my charger. If not, I'm going to die here in just a few minutes. But so we're going to take a pause for a moment. I'd like to take a shout out to, of course, Miss Liz on this aspect. She was a part of a great show last night, produced by the Cosmic Portal. Mr. Calibus ran the matriarchs of the Ladies of Fandom. Had the opportunity to watch that, kind of compliment, and it was just really nice and refreshing to really see a different point of view from a non-masculine, decision or anything, and it was just totally different. I thoroughly enjoyed. I wasn't a part of it, but of course, being a part of listening to it and everything. So, guys, keep an eye on the pages, and of course, you'll be able to know more about when the next time it is. So that was a great show, by the way. Very good job, Mr. Calibus Rand. Very good job, Miss Liz. Guys, if y'all haven't seen it, to those that are watching, to y'all on the roundtable, y'all got to check it out. That's all I can say. So we've been talking about John Hughes. We've been talking about his movies. Let's talk a little bit about his artistic ability. Okay, he's a writer, producer, did a lot of work with young people, but he also was very popular as far as comedy is concerned, mixing a lot of comedy. So I'm going to put each and every one of you in a position where you are an experienced writer, same thing as John Hughes, and you are writing a comedy. My question to you is who would be, what type of comedy would you write? Would it have today's trend on it? Would it be like Saturday Night Live? Would it be like old classic stuff? How would you write it? I know Calibus Rand is a writer. He does some writing. I think Kit down there does some stuff, and I'm sure each of us has some little artistic ability or writing ability that they might have write a short story or whatever. So basically, you're the writer for about 2 minutes, and you're going to tell us on the round table what type of comedy would it be. Robert, how about you? Let's go first with you, sir.
Probably go with a classic, old style. Just because I happen to have a thing for nostalgia.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I agree, and that's what basically this particular show is about, is that nostalgia. So I definitely agree with that. Brad, how about you, sir?
I go with the '80s comedy because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that formula works.
Kit, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, well, I would consider doing something like a derivative of the odd couple type of genre, because you have like Perfect Strangers, the Odd Couple, Al, and any other things where you got somebody who's kind of a fish out of water with somebody else, and it's fun to see the interplay of their interactions.
Yep. Miss Liz, how about you, dear?
I think I would go with like the Wedding Crashers, kind of like that, where they put them in situations that they didn't plan on, but they ended up doing, and basically, all worked out in the end. But because the
Right.
Wedding Crashers, they showed up, they hadn't planned on doing it, and what happened was magic, and it was hilariously funny, and they really got into trouble, but it all worked out in the end. So
That's funny.
it was kind of like a Jerry
Mr. Kelly.
Lewis. It was kind of like a Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin type thing.
Sure. I agree with that. That's good. I like Jerry Lewis. I haven't talked about him in years. Calibus Rand, how about you, sir?
Well, if I'm going to keep it PG, I'm doing a Spaceballs type comedy. But deep down in my heart, I'm going to have to do Blazing Saddles.
So my dear Roundtable cast, and for anybody that's younger than we are that's watching, it's not to offend, but I think that the society today couldn't handle Blazing Saddles. I mean, out of the handful of people that I talk to on a daily basis, and of course, me and Calibus has talked about this on many occasions, people just don't know how to let stuff go, whether it's political, racial, or whatever. I mean, our comedians back in the day, it was part of life. Everybody accepted it, so it was kind of like joking. And I'm not going to go through the scene, but me and Calibus has talked about this before. When you have a particular person acting like that particular thing, and then he's making fun of his own race or politics or whatever, it's hilarious. Eddie Murphy. Nobody would probably accept Eddie Murphy these days. It's just kind of interesting, I think. But Calibus took my answer. I hate being last. I'm gonna start going first. I would have to do a Spaceballs parody myself. Everybody loves a spoof film, so that would be my comedy aspect. So I don't know about no Schwartz, but my Schwartz is your Schwartz is as big as mine. That sort of thing.
I hate it when it gets twisted.
See, that's the thing, Joe. Some of that comedy Mel Brooks did was hilarious and shocking to some, but that was the whole point of it, was to put it in people's face just how ridiculous some of that stuff is. Just like Archie Bunker, Mel Brooks was a genius at it. It's like to show just how ludicrous some of the racial stuff and political stuff was.
Sure.
People laughed their asses off because they're like, "Oh my God!"
I got one.
It's true.
Miss Liz,
I got one.
Go ahead, Liz.
I got one, but most of you are not old enough to remember it. Laughing, Rowan and Martin.
Rowan and Martin, yes.
I remember Laughing.
Talk it to me.
They had some rather politically incorrect stuff and stuff that would not fly today. The stuff they did back then would not go over. The censors people would have a field day with some of the stuff they came up with.
So Robert actually said something that is going to be on this Saturday's Morning Thoughts. So you five, you five have a challenge, and I will be looking for it. Since Mr. Larry Garrett will be on vacation next week, I am writing Saturday Morning Thoughts, and it has something to do with Mel Brooks. Basically, what was your favorite Mel Brooks movie? So I expect each and every one of you to post yours because, hint, hint, you have got the first exclusive part of it. You get to know what I'm getting ready to post, and I'm actually going to have it set up for in the morning by 10 o'clock. But, guys, we're talking about a great author, writer, whatever you may say. I'm sure in some of his movies, he's actually touched your life in some form of way, whether it's Vanessa on the bus giving Mr. Rooney gummy bears and me joking on it, or if it's us thinking about creating a woman out of a doll, or a man, as Liz was saying, or planning that great vacation. He got to us in some form of way. So with this not being a Wednesday night, it's a Friday night. What is your Friday night thought about this writer and about this particular show? Miss Vanessa, my co-host, I will let her start. Your final thought.
Well, okay. Since it starts with me, when I was a senior in high school, I'm gonna put my quote in that I had that was in my yearbook. How can I possibly go to school on a day like this? Mr. Calabas?
Well, it was an interesting premise going to the movies. I kind of like that whole thing in this genre of films. Oh my God, that was the 80s. When you think of 80s movies, that and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I mean, so it was nice to go down that nostalgic road. And of course, you guys know I love being here, love doing the shows. Oh my God, we have somebody talking about history of the world. Make a part two.
Another good movie.
The Lord Jones has given us these 15, 10.
It is good to see Robert here, though. I must say that, sir. Glad you could join us back here at the Roundtable.
Yes, pleasure.
Speaking of Miss Liz, go ahead, darling. Your final thoughts on tonight, and of course the writer that we are talking about as well.
I have seen so many of his movies that I didn't even realize that he was the one that was responsible for half my childhood and young adulthood movies that I have watched and rewatched so many times. And some of them are my serious favorites. And whenever I want a good laugh, and
that's awesome.
Thanks for bringing it up. So I my God, I went, oh my God, when he had them all up on the screen, I'm going, I've seen that one.
Well, like Calabas said, Robert, it's good to see you back on the round table. You are considered what I call the knight of the round table, so we definitely appreciate you coming back. Your final thoughts, please, sir, on the gentleman that we have been talking about, and of course tonight's show.
John Hughes, like Liz said, we didn't realize all the films that he had done, but it provided us with a lot of entertainment over the years about things and situations we've all experienced one way or another, and would have liked things we'd have liked to do in those situations. For us, that was great fantasy. Who of us, and at some point didn't stay after school in detention, and just imagine pulling some of the pranks that they did in Breakfast Club or Home Alone or on a vacation, Wally World, or to be a Griswold, or he expressed a lot of things that we all deep down would like to have done, and that's where some of the entertainment value came from.
Sure. Very good. Very good. I like that. Brad, how about you, sir?
Well, I mean, most of his movies were fun movies, and I really enjoyed a lot of his movies. So, I mean, he ran a bunch of crazy movies. I mean, he did, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He did the Vacation series. He did 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Home Alone, all funny movies. So I really liked a lot of his stuff.
Mr. Kit, you, sir, your final thoughts there, buddy. What? I can't hear you.
Okay. All I know is that life moves fast, and sometimes you got to stop and take a look around. I've always enjoyed the John Hughes movies, and it's always good to get together with you guys. And don't forget about me.
Well, you know what? Miss Liz kind of said this before about not realizing how many movies he did, and not knowing this. So just this show, this simple show, opened up so much to us to know about him. She really hit the hit on the nail on that one. I really do think that, and I think, Chris, I've heard you say it too. Sometimes there's stuff that we talk about that we know about. Then there's some shows where we learn from. I actually think that this show was basically in that forum. Last but not least, of course, Mr. Calibus Rand.
I believe I gave my final thought, sir.
Did you? Well, I'm getting old, and I might be losing my mind. But anyway.
Oh, Mr.
So, guys.
One last thing. The Matriarchs of Fandom, some of them will be in our next show also, which will be a Klingon episode, because some of them females are Klingon.
Oh, excellent. I look forward to that. So, guys, on behalf of myself, Jedi Joe, and of course, the notorious Harley V, and 757 Geek Fandoms, and of course, in association with the Cosmic Portal, Mr. Calibus Rand. Guys, I thank you so much for tonight. I do apologize that we had to move to a Friday night simply because of the storm, but I think we had a good show up. I think we had a good time, and I hope that everybody has a nice weekend, and that's all I have for y'all tonight.